Welcome into the Extra Point, presented by American Jewelry, with two great locations in Mount Juliet and in Brentwood. And if you tell the Blue family that A to Z Sports sent you, you get 15% off at either location. Also, check out their website, american.jewelry. So, Zach, the NBA draft deadline on underclassmen to enter the draft has passed, so we know rosters and we can put rankings forward for college basketball this upcoming season. I'm going to read you ESPN's top 5 teams in college basketball going in the next season. 1, Kansas. 2, Duke. 3, Kentucky. 4, Gonzaga, all usual suspects. 5, the Tennessee Volunteers. High up here at 5 on ESPN's top 25 rankings. What are the expectations for the Vols next season?
Well, they've come a long way from the preseason 13th in the SEC.
Yeah.
So I think that's way too high. I do not pick the Tennessee Volunteers as 5th in the country. Now, they've only lost one guy,
right,
and they've got a lot of guys coming back with experience. Rick Barnes, obviously a good head coach, very likable around the basketball community. We know in college basketball, you have to have a solid head coach. But how will Tennessee respond? And I think this is the question I have. It's different when you're the hunter or when you're the hunted.
Exactly.
And that's my one thing. Their size, their length, that was a big problem. I don't see that changing that much. The experience factor is always good, but you have Auburn that's better. You mentioned Kentucky. They got a whole fresh crew.
Right.
Vanderbilt will be different because of their recruits. Frank Martin usually coaches his guys up. They're coming off of a down season. But you also have Arkansas, you've got Alabama, who's up and down.
Tom Crean's over at Georgia now.
That's true. So you got a lot of different wild cards going in. I just think the rigors of the SEC, as they've improved, there's no chance, such as what you got, no chance in hell Tennessee finishes the season at 5. I think it's too early, even as a preseason rank.
Obviously, things have to play out. Look, Tennessee should have the highest expectations going into a basketball season that they've had since the Bruce Pearl, Chris Lofton days, and I think that's warranted. And I'm curious to see how this team works throughout the summer and if they had the same type of hunger and drive that they had after not making the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. I think not making the Sweet 16 will drive this team forward to work harder, to know that they came up short in the NCAA tournament this past spring. So I think having legitimate Final Four expectations is fair for this college basketball team. Admiral Schofield's back, and he's the best player that has the reigning SEC Player of the Year in Grant Williams. The guard play is only going to get better with Lamonte Turner and Jordan Bone. Then you've got Jordan Bowden. You've got guys coming off the bench. Kyle Alexander continues to develop into a guy who can make a lot of plays at the rim with his length. This team is going to be really good.
Are they the 5th best team in the country going into this season? That's the question.
I mean, they have everybody coming back from a 3-seed team that was ranked 10th in the tournament last year. So I got to say, it's not that too far-fetched.
So you're saying they are the 5th rank?
I mean, look, I'm not a college basketball insider, so I'm not going to dive into why.
You just read off some roster. I mean, you just made your case.
Well, I'll say this. Why is North Carolina, Michigan State, and Villanova 8, 9, and 10, and Tennessee's at 5? Because those 3 blue blood programs, including this year's national champion, have lost players from those teams and lost leaders from those teams.
And they always recoup.
Right, but Tennessee, going into the tournament, like I said, 10th in the NCAA bracket. Tennessee lost one guy, James Daniel, their 3rd point guard, basically, who is a graduate transfer arena player for a year. And James Daniel did contribute to this team. But look, you've got everybody back. You've got Yves Pons, who's going to make a big jump that Rick Barnes has talked about already this summer, who is a true freshman from France this past season who barely did anything. I think this Tennessee team, it's fair to have realistic Final Four expectations this
Expectations should be high, but top 5 team going into this season is incorrect.
There you go. All right, that's today's Extra Point presented by American Jewelry here on A to Z Sports Nashville.com.